Welcome back to the Think Small podcast. My guest today is Paul Tramo, a serial entrepreneur and the owner of Sentinel Process Systems, as well as a number of other businesses. Excited for today's conversation with Paul. Paul, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. So we had to kind of reschedule this one a couple of times, but I'm glad that our calendars aligned. It seems like you've got your hands in a lot of different pots. So why don't you tell me about your companies? Tell me about how you got your start and what made you choose this entrepreneurial lifestyle.
So yeah, it's again, thanks for your patience. It's been a little hard to connect, but we're finally doing this, so I'm looking forward to it. So my base business, or certainly the largest component of my empire, if you will, is the Sentinel Process Systems. So our customers are large pharma and biotech companies, and we quarterback their supplies of their components and instrumentation and assemblies they use to move, control, and monitor sterile liquids. So it's very, very niche-y. But that puts us into a great spot with these big pharma companies who are making injectable therapeutics, vaccines, things like that. So that's our primary focus with those customers. And we have a clean room where we do assembly work for our customers to again give them products they can use instantly right out of a sterile container and plug right into their systems and go with it. And then we also distribute products like valves and instruments that they use again to measure and monitor and control the movement of these liquids. And then the other I have a couple other allied businesses, one of which is called SPS Clean Tech. And in that business, so the Sentinel business, our customers are in clean rooms. So the people using our products are in the clean rooms, which are controlled environments where they're, very tightly controlling humidity, temperature, pressure, other things to make sure it's a very, very sterile environment. So about 10 years ago now, actually a little longer than 10 years ago, we started a business where we're supplying in a distribution model where we're supplying what we call architectural elements used to renovate and build clean rooms, specifically like wall panels and windows and doors and even furniture, so they can outfit the clean room. So I have a distinct sales force that does that, as well as the Sentinel sales force, two different sales forces that help our customers and hopefully solve problems for them. And I have a third business bolted onto this clean tech business that does a very unique interlock system to control doors in clean rooms. So you never want to have two doors open at the same time in a clean room. And this Sentry interlocks controls the locking schemes of these doors, basically. So those are the businesses that I'm in currently. As far as entrepreneurial, I've always been entrepreneurial. I'm trying to, so specifically with Sentinel, I was very fortunate that my father purchased this company many years ago, 1984. And I had my own business. I had a service business doing cleaning, actually. A little bit of janitorial, but mainly we were cleaning for doing construction cleaning and working in construction sites, doing pre-settlement cleaning and cleaning the sample homes of the construction sites. And he basically asked me to come work for him. And at the time, I was a young person and I really didn't know what I was doing in business. I had a couple other ventures prior to that, but nothing like that cleaning service. It got to be very big and successful, but it also was a 24/7 job. I mean, literally 24/7. And I just was getting real tired of that. And he said, come work for me. We'll make millions of dollars, blah, blah, blah. And I jumped ship and I started working for him. And really from an early side, it was definitely it wasn't a partnership by any stretch, but he really did value my opinion. And once I got up to speed with the business a couple of years, he really kind of let me take over largely. So around the early 90s, that was 86. So in March, I'll be 40 years, believe it or not. I'm with Sentinel Process Systems.
Incredible.
The business, by the way, is 75 years old. Or it's gonna be, yeah, it was started in 1950 by another entrepreneur. My father acquired it from a second owner, actually, but nonetheless, once I got my arms around the business and things like that, he really gave me kind of free reign. Ultimately, he retired in like 2004, and then I kind of took over, and then I purchased the business from him in 2011. So that's my story.
That's a great story.
I'm very fortunate.
Yeah. So you kind of gave me the background on it, and then I know that naturally the conversation being in the business for 40 years, my mind almost goes to like, what is your next step, right? Is this something that like, are you like positioned to exit? Are you looking to grow the company still, or I'm just out of curiosity. I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, we're looking to aggressively grow the business.
Nice.
We have we're working on plans to 3x. So the business has, I said there's there's three primary components that we're looking to really grow pretty dramatically, that have a nationwide potential for them. So I mentioned the clean room. The clean room is something that we are in complete control of. We provide a great service for our customers, solve a lot of problems they have with supplies and things like that, and that we can kind of do anywhere we choose. Whereas the traditional distribution products, the valves, instrumentation, I'm sort of contained to a territory. So I can expand the clean room operations really nationwide. I wouldn't go nationwide, but I mean, we're looking at how we do that strategically. And similarly with the SPS Clean Tech, I have multiple product lines I have exclusively in this nation, in the country. So I do sell the Clean Tech components nationwide now. And then Sentry, same thing. It's a product that we control totally in North America. And so that has a lot of growth potential. So we're looking to grow pretty dramatically those three elements of the business, which will also lift the traditional Sentinel business up with it. So to answer your question, I have no specific plans to exit. However, quite frankly, I learned along the way somewhere, probably within the last, I'm going to say definitely the last 5 years, but probably even 10 years now, I'm building it to exit. So I'm doing what I can to strengthen my leadership team. I have a great team now. Everybody's really doing a great job. My job is not tiring. I mean, it's not, I don't lay awake at night, so I'm in a great spot. I still add a lot of value to the team. And so I have no immediate plans to exit the business, and we're looking to grow pretty dramatically. So
that's fantastic. I think we talked a lot about culture on our prep call, and I think that's something I want to kind of talk about, because it seems like you really built a very unique type culture. I think we talked about your core tenant or core. What did you call them?
We have core values. Our core values are sort of the overarching way we approach things. But the challenge that you have with core values is really, I'm not gonna say they're squishy, but there's some room for interpretation of core values. So for example, our 5 core values, very simply: grow or die, whatever it takes, team before self, relentless passion, and unfailingly dependable. So those are our 5 core values. But we work those values with our fundamentals. So we have 31 fundamentals. So our 31 fundamentals are the behaviors that I hate to use the word demand, but I'll say the 31 behaviors we really focus on everybody doing all the time. And the way that works, it's a great system introduced to me by a guy named David Friedman, who basically we have these 31 fundamentals, and we do one a week. So this week is actually Speak Straight. So I have on my little wristband here, Speak Straight, which is this week's fundamental. And what that means is at every meeting of 3 or more people, we have specifically what Speak Straight means, which means tell the truth, say what you mean, those things. We have that written out. But then at every meeting of 3 or more people, we discuss it for 5 minutes. What does it mean to you? How are you doing it? How can you do it better? How does it help you? How does it hurt you? So on and so forth. And so it's a ongoing, continuous training. We go through these 31 fundamentals, and then week 32, we start at number 1 again, and we just keep going. So we've been doing this since this system, this culture, sort of being deliberate, very, very deliberate about our culture for the past 6 years. So I found out, I learned this stuff from Friedman. He wrote a book, which I forget the name of it, but maybe high impact culture, I think it is. But anyway, if you Google him, you'll find his thing. Learned this system and just loved it. And I'm telling you, it has been a game changer. We talk about it all the time. By the way, part of our requirement when we talk about our fundamental of the week, what core value does it tie into? So our 31 fundamentals tie into almost all 5 core values. But again, it's a little tricky to kind of explain our core value. Everybody likes to hear core values and things like that. And we think there's value to it because it does, like I said, encapsulate the way we look at things and the way we approach things. Like I said, grow or die is a big one. Unfailingly dependable is another one we lean on quite a bit. The other nice thing about our culture, it leads to accountability. Because we have these 31 fundamentals documented, if somebody doesn't do one of the fundamentals, like another one that I love that we're really pretty well known for is be a fanatic about response time. So to us, that means that you immediately respond to every email and say, I got it, I'm working on it. If you can, you tell them it's going to be an hour, it's going to be 2 days, it's going to be a week for me to get you an answer, but you stay in contact. You make sure they know you're on it, basically. So clearly, if somebody doesn't do that, we can say, hey, look, you knew when you signed on to work here, one of our major fundamentals, they're all very important, be fanatic about response time. And we can talk about it. And it's not subjective. It's not, it's like, it's black and white what the expectation is. So it's been a real game changer for us. And I hope certainly our growth would indicate for our customers too. They see it.
Yeah, I think the word that you said that stood out the most to me was accountability. I think that when you have a culture that's truly crafted and designed in a way that it's going to drive a lot of value to a business, it really just naturally creates that sense of accountability, right? Like I've worked for organizations where it was almost like so much independence that it led itself to like almost like I don't want to say inmates running the prison, but you know what I mean. And then I've worked for other organizations that they put so much micromanagement pressure down on the top that it stifled creativity. Where I'm at now as an employee benefits producer with USI, I've never been happier. Honestly, they give you just the right amount of freedom to move and do as you need to get the job done, but then also having that culture of accountability that every time you show up to work, it's let's get it done. Let's get the project done. Let's help our clients out in the best way possible. And it sounds like that's what you have over there now.
Yeah, very much so. That was the goal. I mean, my goal is, and I'm working towards it, is to have a self-managing company that everybody is accountable to, not only themselves, but to each other and their team and ultimately the customer and all that, and that's what we talk about all the time. We drive for that. We really do try to focus on that because at the end of the day, that really is where the rubber meets the road is personal accountability and team and company accountability. Obviously mistakes are going to be made. People are going to, we're all human, happens all the time, but, hopefully you say, one of our other fundamentals is we practice blameless problem solving. Okay. There was a problem here. We're not going to say, hey, Joe screwed this up. We got to, Joe sucked. No, we're not going to do that. what happened? Let's break it down. What happened? How do we make sure it doesn't happen again, or it doesn't happen often, or whatever, you know? So yeah, that's a really important part, I think, ultimately.
Yeah.
Like I said, I tell our guys all the time, at the end of the day, our customers can buy our widgets from anybody, right? They're not only buying from you, Mr. Salesperson, but they're buying from our company, what we do, how we perform at the end of the day, you know? The other thing I'll tell you, Alex, that I think was important, we did, now 2 years ago, we engaged in, we basically now run the business on EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System. If you're not familiar with that, it is it's an operating system for the people. And basically what it does is it gets everybody in alignment. So everybody knows how their role impacts other people's role, and what done looks like, what success means in their roles. It really gets down to defining all of this stuff. So when you come into Sentinel, you understand pretty quickly where you are and how important your job is to your team at the end of the day. And there's a lot of other things involving with this operating system EOS that are very valuable too. But the biggest thing, I think, is the alignment. Everybody's in alignment. They all know our mission, right? Our job, how important we are. Because again, one of the things that's somewhat unique about our company is we're a critical supplier to big pharma. And, you know, we're a relatively small company. And so what we do really makes a big difference. And what every single person in the company does makes a big difference, ultimately to patient care, you know, or even survival in some cases. So we're not just slinging materials around. I mean, we're have to do things a certain way so our customers get what they need to do their critical work, you know. So it's an interesting. We're in an interesting spot.
Yeah. I have to imagine that it's sometimes challenging to juggle and manage all of it. I often empathize with some of the account managers in my practice that, you know, they've got to imagine their inbox is crazy. I get 100 emails a day. I can't imagine what it's like running three or four different businesses and doing a mentorship program and having all of this, you know, culture. Like, you know, your inbox must be crazy, huh?
I have a great assistant. I will tell you, I'm very fortunate. Another new thing that I did this in 2025. I got an assistant, and it's been a game changer, because yes, it was getting quite overwhelming, and I found myself spending like all of my time in my inbox, and and there's so many distractions. That's the other problem. You know, like you said, you get 100 emails. Well, 10 are critical, but those 90 still draw your attention. Oh, that's interesting. I get the newsletter. Oh, I want to read this article, you know, and it's just, you know, it's hard to stay focused when you're in your inbox all the time, you know?
Yeah.
And that's been a real benefit to me too.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that on our prep call, we had discussed that you were part of a mentorship program, an entrepreneurial mentorship program with vets. Was that?
Yes. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. So, I'm a member of the Union League of Philadelphia, which is a patriotic organization, founded in 1862 to support Abraham Lincoln and the Union, in the, what they call the War of the Rebellion. And to this day, we're do a lot of stuff with veterans, and we have what we call a Veterans Fellowship Program. So Monday night it kicks off for this year. This is my third year doing it, and it's open to any veteran of any rank or any tenure in military. My first mentee was a West Point graduate major, just had come out of the Army, and you know, these guys, that we owe them so much. I did not serve, but I appreciate so much of what they have done, their sacrifices they have made and their families have made, the risks they took, all that stuff. So we owe them so much. And it's a challenge. The challenge veterans have when they enter the workforce is, a veteran wears it all on his shoulder. Another veteran knows his rank. You can tell by his ribbons what tours he's been on, what countries he's been in. Also, it's all right there for everybody to see. But you can't, if you're walking in, you're selling employee benefits. You can't walk in and say, "Well, I'm a veteran of the Gulf War." You're going to be kind of looked at like, "Okay, really? That's how you're going to start the meeting?" You can't do that. So we help them craft a message. How to navigate the civilian world, and how to kind of do that. And we have a great program where we have these 3 tracks: entrepreneurial, transitioning, and mid-career. So if you're in a corporate role, you've been out and you're in a corporate role and you're looking to maybe make a change, we have guys in our organization that have been there, done that multiple times. They'll help you navigate that. If you're just getting out of the military, transitioning from military to civilian life, we have people that have done that successfully and helped other vets do that successfully. And then I'm in the entrepreneurial track, where if you want to start a business, you have an idea, you want to flesh it out with our group and see if we can help you, that's what we do. So really, really rewarding. Great people. Obviously, as you can imagine, you're dealing with these people who are just really, really special people.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love just being able to spotlight that sort of, I don't want to say pet project of yours, but that definitely that extra side, I don't know, just piece that you're doing, right? I love nonprofits. I really have found a lot of joy working with nonprofits and people that are making an impact on the community around them. I just think that's an exceptionally rewarding opportunity, right?
Right. One of our fundamentals,
back,
by the way, is make a difference. And it's about giving back. So one of the things we do, we give everybody an additional PTO, a day of PTO, to do service work of their choosing, basically, as long as it's a bona fide charity or nonprofit, I should say. So we're very big on making a difference, and it's part of my personal core values as well as the company's core values.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Hey, Paul, I have just 2 more questions for you, and one is around, I suppose the economic landscape that we're in today, and how you maybe have positioned the company to contain some of your costs. So I feel like things are more expensive than they ever have been, and I'm wondering if that's impacted your industry as well, and if there's anything specifically that you did to kind of contain your costs or lower your overhead in general. Is that something that's come up in the last, 24 months?
Well, yeah, we've been affected somewhat by the tariffs. Not really somewhat. We've been affected a lot by the tariffs, and the fallout for the tariffs too, from the perspective of customers demanding what's a tariff, what's a normal price increase. So we've had to do a lot of kind of extraneous, if you will, or something, I don't know the right word, like accounting and things like that we'd never had to do before. So that's definitely been a little bit of a challenge. It seems to have calmed down now, fortunately. And I'm a believer in the tariffs, by the way. I think that they're spot on, but that's been a little hard to navigate. We're conscious of costs. We're being a sales guy, I'm really more about growing top line, focus on top line. I do have a CFO who helps me with the cost. We look at the cost of everything. We're looking for ways. I shouldn't be that flippant about it. I mean, we're looking for ways to try to trim costs without reducing service or impacting employees. We're definitely looking at AI. We're doing a lot with. We had a great 2-day. I brought in a company that does AI that we had the entire company, including my clean room assembly people, my guys in the shop. Everybody came together for 2 days, and we had a whole AI conference, basically. We came up with some really great ideas as a team of how we can use AI to streamline some of our things. I'm going to say definitely reduce costs, but certainly soft costs. make people's jobs easier. That's the bigger thing. I mean, I can't imagine replacing anybody I have with AI, but I certainly can imagine increasing what they're saying, increasing their productivity by taking some of the more mundane tasks off their plates. So we're definitely looking at that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think AI it's just fast tracked a lot of the menial tasks, right? Stuff that would take, even if it took 10 minutes, now it takes 2 minutes. Compound that over the course of a year. There's a lot of opportunity cost savings there, right?
Tremendous. Yeah.
So Paul, I always like to sort of end these on a high note or something that you're looking forward to in the next 12 months. Is there anything that you have in particular that's coming down the pike that you're really excited about, or just the growth trajectory that you're trying to accomplish, and what's the next 6 to 12 months look like for you guys?
So yeah, Alex, I think that I am very excited about so I kind of came up with this 3X plan late last year, and really have asked the team to come up with what does 3X look like in your department or your teams. What do we need to do? How do we need to prepare? So I'm really excited to plan this and prepare for it, and then of course execute on it. And I'm really confident with EOS and with our own internal sort of systems, we're going to, within the next, I'm going to say definitely the next quarter, we will have a solid game plan that we just need to execute on to get to that goal and probably, hopefully, exceed that goal. So I've set a very aggressive goal. For a 75-year-old company to grow 3X is quite dramatic, obviously. So I'm really excited about seeing this happen, and seeing us make all these what I hope to be right moves to make it happen and deliver not only for the whole company but our customers, everything.
Yeah, that's fantastic, Paul. I think you've got a great foundation and a great culture, and I absolutely wish you the best of luck with it. I think it's going to be an awesome thing for your company and for you. So thank you so much for your time today, for being a guest with us, and I look forward to continuing our conversation with you at some point. I'm sure that I've got probably a dozen people that are going to listen to this or more that are going to want to reach out to you, and I think you bring a lot of value.
Well, yeah, one of the things I do, one of the things I do probably to a fault is I do love helping people and coaching people and things like that. I shouldn't say coaching necessarily, but I love helping people when I can help. And it's so funny because very few people can help me. My business is so niche. I do all this stuff and I just say it comes back to me in some ways, but it's very rare that I say, "Hey, I know a guy, an engineer at a pharmaceutical company who's dying to make a change for a vendor." That doesn't happen, But yeah, anybody who wants to talk about any of this stuff, I'm definitely willing to talk. So be great.
Funny enough, we actually had a guest on the podcast that was engineering a drug for the macular degeneration of your eye, and they were using an injectable. So there is one person I got that deals with sterile liquids.
There you go. Perfect. No, it was a pleasure, Alex. Thank you so much. Appreciate you hanging in there with me and getting this on the calendar.
Yeah. Thank you, Paul. Have a great one.